Being an actor entails being adaptable enough to change as quickly as possible and adhere to the script at all times. But for one to be this successful in the field, it takes a lot of time, unwavering passion, and also a lot of hard effort. Those who do make it have to deal with the obstacles that Hollywood throws in their path. For many actors, being typecast, appearing in flop after flop, and being tied to the same genre film after film can take its toll, leading them to abandon their roots and break out into completely other parts. In today's video, we are going to address such. Here are 10 actors that masterfully transformed themselves and ushered in an altogether new period of their careers, whether they earned a name for themselves acting in a specific genre or just outgrew their prior image. Before we proceed, I'd like to remind you to subscribe, give the video a thumbs up, leave a comment, and share it with your fellow movie buffs. Don't forget to switch on the notification bell for future video updates. And without further ado, let's get started. 1. Emma Stone. Emma Stone earned her start in Hollywood by acting in films like Superbad, 2007, Zombieland, 2009, Easy A, 2010, and Friends with Benefits, 2011. Despite being a capable comic actress who frequently shines in her early films, it was evident that she was headed for something more. Her appearances in the Amazing Spider-Man flicks 2012 and 2014 and Crazy Stupid Love 2011 saw her push out into more serious territory. But it wasn't until Birdman 2014 that she expanded her wings and became the actress fans know today. Following Birdman, she had a succession of serious roles, including Battle of the Sexes 2017 and The Favorite 2018. But her best performance to date is as Mia Dolan in the romantic musical La La Land 2016. This role earned her an Academy Award, and she firmly established herself as one of this generation's best actors, able to effortlessly switch genres and shed as many tears as she can laugh. 2. Robin Williams. An archetypal humorous figure was Robin Williams. His wit was one of a kind, and his scene-stealing performance in Happy Days inspired the creation of Mork and Mindy, a spin-off of the program. Williams established a reputation not only as a terrific stand-up comedian, but also as a brilliant comedic actor, portraying Mork for the whole 95-episode run of the show. For a while, that was his career path. He established himself as the passionate, funny man with appearances in films such as Popeye, 1980, The World According to Garp, 1982, and The Best of Times, 1985. Along the way, he continued to perform stand-up comedy, and his wit and energy garnered followers throughout the world. In 1987, when he starred in Good Morning Vietnam, a crack began to show in his acting career. Williams was nominated for an Academy Award for his performance, proving for the first time that he is capable of playing serious roles as well as comedic roles. He then acted in films such as Dead Poets Society, 1989, Awakenings, 1990, Good Will Hunting, 1997, 1 Hour Photo, 2002, and World's Greatest Dad. Williams received an Academy Award for his performance in Good Will Hunting, and while he never lost his comedic senses for the remainder of his illustrious career, it would have been difficult to predict that the guy from Mork and Mindy would become one of cinema's most varied serious actors. 3. Angelina Jolie. She was one of the most controversial sex symbols of the early 2000s, wearing her husband Billy Bob Thornton's blood around her neck in a vial, getting creepily close to her brother in public, and maybe causing Jennifer Aniston's marriage to Brad Pitt to fail. But something changed in 2001 while filming Lara Croft Tomb Raider in Cambodia. Jolie appeared to transform into a human rights champion overnight. She has since been to war-torn countries throughout the globe, from Africa to the Middle East, sharing her message and assisting in the passage of a United Nations resolution to combat sexual violence against women in conflict zones. 4. Melissa McCarthy. Melissa McCarthy began her career as a stand-up comedian, thus her success as a humorous actress is unsurprising. The wonderfully fat Molly from the program Mike and Molly is what most fans remember her as. Following that, she starred in Bridesmaids, Tammy, and The Heat, all of which were critically acclaimed. Melissa McCarthy's role in the serious drama Can You Ever Forgive Me last year was all the more surprising given her previous choices. She was even nominated for an Oscar for her role as Lee Israel. 5. Jennifer Aniston. Jennifer Aniston rose to fame because of her portrayal as Rachel on the hit sitcom Friends. Producers and filmmakers, on the other hand, saw Aniston as the ideal actress for romantic comedies. She starred in comedies including She's the One, The Object of My Affection, and The Good Girl for several years. Jennifer Aniston began to branch out from her typical comic persona in 2005 when she starred in Derailed. But it was in the psychological drama Cake that she had her most surprising and powerful part. This film was unlike anything else Aniston had ever done before. It made her rise to glory. 6. Nicole Kidman. Nicole Kidman is one of the greatest actresses of all time, and her name is synonymous with versatility in Hollywood. And, unlike some of the other people on this list, she never had to remake herself. She was never stuck in a rut, was never truly unemployed, and was perfectly content with where she was, making films, getting awards, and teaching everyone how it's done. But something changed in 2017. Kidman was cast as one of the leads in HBO's miniseries Big Little Lies, and she nailed her first major television role. She owned every scene, every line, and showed spectators the same amount of passion and talent that she did in every one of her films throughout 14 episodes. Kidman's Golden Globe-winning performance has allowed her to carve out a new niche in the television format, even though her movie output hasn't decreased since the show's premiere. Though her appearances in films like Boy Erased in 2018, The Goldfinch 2019, and the upcoming revenge thriller, The Northman, demonstrate that she isn't too far away from the big screen. She has subsequently gone on to star in 2 separate series, The Undoing and 9 Perfect Strangers, though it's unclear how popular these series will be. If they're anything like the actress's previous TV work, there's no denying her status as a television queen. 7. Bryan Cranston. In Breaking Bad, he gave an outstanding performance. Bryan Cranston used to be just Malcolm in the Middle's dad, though that's hard to believe now. Cranston was praised for his work on the show. Despite the show's success, Cranston struggled to find work in the film industry. He had minor appearances in Saving Private Ryan, 1998, and Little Miss Sunshine, 2006. But between the 1990s and the early 2010s, he primarily worked as a TV actor, and it appeared that he would do so for the remainder of his career once Malcolm in the Middle ended. His time had finally come, and something unexpected occurred. Breaking Bad premiered in 2008 on AMC and stars Bryan Cranston as Walter White, a former chemistry teacher who became a meth dealer. It was a huge hit, and it's now considered one of the best TV shows of all time. Cranston gave one of his best ever television performances, starring in the show for 5 seasons and winning 4 Emmys. Cranston was able to break into the film industry more successfully during the show, with major performances in Argo 2012 and Godzilla 2012. After the miniseries concluded, the actor went on to star in the Oscar-nominated picture Trumbo 2015. Since then, he's had many cinematic parts, and it's safe to say he's not going anywhere anytime soon. 8. Tom Cruise. For me, he's a real champion, and he deserves some hat removal honor. Love him or hate him, Tom Cruise is a force to be reckoned with, a consummate professional, and one of Hollywood's most reliable box office performers. However, he was nothing like the Tom Cruise we know now for a long time early in his career. Tom Cruise was more accustomed to serious dramas than the loud, exhilarating action pictures he's known for in the late 1980s and early 1990s. Sure, there was Top Gun in 1986, but Cruise appeared to be on his way to becoming the next big thing with parts in Rain Man, 1988, Born on the 4th of July, 1989, A Few Good Men, 1992, and Jerry Maguire, 1996. And he was, all things considered, but not in the way anyone would have anticipated. He starred in the first Mission Impossible film in 1996, ushering in a new phase in his career that he continues to enjoy now. It was followed by an explosive sequel in 2000, as well as leading roles in Minority Report 2002, Night and Day 2010, Jack Reacher 2012, Oblivion 2013, and a slew of other films. Though he had a few dramatic roles after Mission Impossible, most notably his career best performance in Magnolia 1999, Cruise has remained firmly in the action star category for the majority of his later career. And it's fair to say it's worked out for him due to the success of his films and the lengths he goes to get them made. 9. Jonah Hill. Another legendary figure who deserves to be included on this list is Jonah Hill. Jonah Hill stunned the world 2 years ago when he underwent a dramatic transformation in both his appearance and his career. For his role as a smart fat man in films like 21 Jump Street, Hill was nominated for a Teen Choice Award for Best Comedy Actor in Superbad. Just to say that this is a good film, I recommend that you watch it. Hill began to look for more serious roles that would allow him to express himself fully as an actor. He made his big screen debut in the criminal comedy War Dogs, in which he played one of the main characters. After that, he surprised everyone by agreeing to star in He Won't Get Far on Foot, a film that highlighted his emotional breadth. Jonah is presently pursuing his dream of becoming a filmmaker. 10. Ben Stiller. After establishing his MTV comedy show, The Ben Stiller Show, Ben Stiller rose to popularity as a comedic actor. Stiller was invited to play larger roles in more wide comedies after starring alongside Cameron Diaz in There's Something About Mary at the end of the 1990s. His most well-known works include Meet the Parents, Meet the Fockers, Duplex, and Zoolander. Working on The Secret Life of Walter Mitty was a truly watershed moment for him. It's a movie about a shy man who fantasizes about the amazing things he could do. He also worked on the Meyerowitz Stories and Brad Status, both of which received critical acclaim. Having reached that point, we can see that not all star actors we know today just made it through one film that they acted. It's a process that they went through. Sadly, we have come to the end of today's video. Subscribe, like, comment, and share the video with your friends. Goodbye. See you in the next video.